I have plenty of everything. I just need less of my husband's opinions. Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I am Raphael and I'm here to review episode 6 of The Real Trash Ass Husbands of Salt Lake City. So we start the episode off with Whitney and her newfound friendship with Lisa. You know, she wants to see this fun side that everybody keeps painting out Lisa to be. You know, Lisa's fun, she's a fun person. So Whitney wants to experience that. And what better way to experience it than to go to this class where they kind of have to do gymnastics on these things that are hanging from, like this fabric that's hanging from the ceiling. So they have to kind of like swing on it, you know, get themselves in different positions. And, you know, it looked interesting. And I've seen it done before. I don't know if I would be able to do it. I mean, I would probably, you know, break a kneecap or break my neck doing that, like falling by accident. But regardless, Lisa gets there. You know, it came natural to both of them. I was actually very impressed to see that. I'm like, wow, that takes a lot of strength and a lot of, you know, agility to do all that, because both of them were swinging around like Spider Women, just like swinging from one thing to another and not getting caught. I mean, if I was doing it, I would probably be like, okay, so how do you do this? You do this, and okay, so I'm doing it like that, and okay, and then oh no, I'm tied up. I would probably be ready to be kidnapped. I mean, I would probably just be laying on the floor like, okay, can somebody help me? I think I just broke something. They're like, oh, so what will be your stripper name? What will be your stage name? And Lisa, she says that her name will be Jasmine because, you know, she's going to be on this flying carpet or this flying fabric and she's going to be up in the air doing, you know, who knows what. And Whitney says that her name will be Randy Starr. And I'm like, that's an interesting choice for a name. I mean, that sounds like some dusty stripper who smokes a cigarette and has a tuna sandwich for lunch. I mean, if that's what you want to go with, Whitney, then that's your name. Then we head over to the first shitty husband's house. We head over to Mary and her husband's house, and he's cooking up a dinner or a lunch for him and Mary, and the whole scene was just kind of like, okay, do y'all have any type of chemistry or connection? I mean, it was very interesting to see that. I'm like, okay, Mary, you barely have a connection with your own son, and now your husband, I mean, nothing is clicking in this house. You know, like, it was just very interesting. He had a really bad attitude for some reason. He was just so upset, and he was snapping on Mary. Mary was just asking simple questions like, oh, are you cooking this? Are you cooking that? Oh, I like this. Are we gonna eat here? And he was just like, no, no, no. I mean, do you want me to? Do you want me to? No. I mean, are we gonna eat here? I'm like, relax. Like, she's just asking you a question. This is your wife, and you haven't spent all this time with her. Oh, what, a year? She said that he was in Florida because he got stuck there because of the pandemic, and now you come back to the house and you have an attitude. Like, what was going on in Florida that, you know, made you so happy over there? And now you're coming back to Salt Lake City all grumpy, and it was pretty sad. I mean, I think I said this the first season, but Mary needs to leave this man. There's obviously no connection there besides the money that she married, I guess, him into because of the whole arrangement with her mom. So I'm like, is there really anything there? Is there really love or romance or anything between you and your husband slash grandfather? I mean, I don't see it, and I wonder if Mary actually believes in divorce or if she believes in separating, because I can definitely see that happening as soon as her son decides to move out of the house. I can definitely see her being like, you know what? I don't want to be alone in this house with this man. Like, it's not going to work out. And she basically said that she hates him. I mean, she basically spelled it out for everybody like, SOS, I need help out of this marriage and out of this relationship. And unfortunately, she's only staying in it because I'm assuming that he has some type of money connection to, you know, the wealth that the mom left when she passed away. So it's unfortunate because she's like, you know, we don't even know each other. You know, he cooks rice and I like this type of rice, but he cooks the other type of rice and then he just gives it to me. And, you know, he doesn't know anything about me. And I'm like, that's pretty sad. We all know she's a little kooky and a little, you know, out there, but, you know, nobody deserves this to be in this type of, you know, marriage or whatever. But I guess we all have our choices. And if you decide to just continue staying with him for financial needs or whatever, then I guess that it is what it is. You know, if anything, sneak through his wallet when he's sleeping at night and then, you know, slowly plan your escape out of this marriage. So then we head over to this place called Fish Kiss to film foot fetish content for OnlyFans. And we got Lisa, Jenny, and Meredith. Lisa's the first one to show up, and then Jenny shows up. And Lisa, she was just like, Jenny, Jenny, Jenny. Oh, hi, Jenny, Jenny. And then Meredith walked in, and she was like, Meredith, Meredith, Jenny, Meredith. Hi, Meredith. Hey, Jenny. And the basic premise of the activity is not only to have OnlyFans content, but to put your feet inside this tank in front of you and have these little fish basically clean your feet and clean off the dead skin at the bottom of your feet. So I was like, okay, that's cute. That's interesting. You know, let's bond over this. And then they begin talking, and we got to know way more about Jenny and this backstory with her and her husband and him wanting more children and kind of forcing that on her. And she basically was just like, I went through so many miscarriages and I finally gave birth to somebody, well, to a child, and they passed away like an hour later while I was unconscious and sedated, and my husband had to experience all of that. And I feel like he is still looking for that missing child that we lost. And that's probably why he wants to continue to force me to have children. With what he says later on in the episode and the bullshit that comes out of his mouth, it's hard to have sympathy for him because he's only looking at the situation from his perspective and from his emotions instead of seeing his wife, who was sedated and wasn't even conscious to actually witness any of this. She had to wake up to see you with your hair shaved off because she said that in her culture it represents when you shave your hair, it means that you're mourning somebody, a loved one who has just passed away. So that's the way she found out. So, again, Dewey is just not being considerate of his wife's needs and her emotions and what her body and her mentality went through. It's one thing that you're there to support and everything. I get it. It takes two to make a child, but it's just like, Dewey, your wife, she had a bunch of miscarriages, and, there was this one that she actually gave birth to it, and look what happened to it, and you still have no heart, and you still want to continue pressuring her to put herself back in that vulnerable, sorry, I cannot pronounce that word correctly, vulnerable state of mind or state of being, stop it. I don't know if y'all know, but there's somebody online right now kind of going around, there's this video going around of somebody claiming to be Jenny's niece, and she's putting all of this on TikTok saying, oh, all of this between Dewey and Jenny is just all a storyline, no, like he doesn't even take care of his children, like all of this is fake or whatever, like she did not come from nothing, she was already rich all her life, and she's basically saying that their whole storyline is just fake. And even if that is the case, it will be very terrible, extremely terrible, if Jenny, let alone Dewey, went to this length just for a storyline on a reality TV show. I mean, this is what you want to put out to the world for everybody to see you and to judge you, and this is the type of painting that you want to paint out for yourself and your family. I mean, again, I want to say I hope it's for a storyline, but even if it is, that's pretty pathetic. Then we head over to Jen, and she's going to a jewelry department, and I'm like, oh, Jen, out of all the places to go, you should have just went through to like a thrift shop or something so the police and the feds could stay away from you. But of course, you put yourself right there in the ring of fire. So regardless, she goes in there and she's like, hey, everybody, I just got paid today. It's Friday. I got all my scam money. I scammed a couple people this week, so I have a lot of money in my bank account, allegedly, and I'm ready to spend it all. So sugar daddy, where you at? The guy that owns the store, he comes out, he's showing her jewelry. She wants to get a gift, after going through her apology tour. She wants to give a gift to everybody in the group, and she's like, I want to give something to everybody that represents that we're all different, something that represents all of us in the group. And the guy's like, let me see. Let's see, what's expensive here? What can you afford? How many people you scammed again? Did you scam that old lady down the street? You did? Okay, so I think I could give you a snowflake. What about a snowflake? And, I actually like the concept of it, how, every snowflake is different. Every snowflake is not the same. I actually like that, because Jen is like, in this group, we have so many different people. We have a cult leader. We have a person that's obsessed with her daughter's sex life, and she always talking about being a Mormon, and she never shuts the fuck up. We have another one who's kind of like a liar 24/7, but she tries to get away with it. We have another one who talks like she's a wannabe Paris Hilton, and her and her husband's sex life isn't the best. And we just have very interesting people in our group. So I think I would actually like that. And then the guy's like, well, for all 6 snowflakes, I think it's gonna be about 2,600. And I'm like, 2,600 for those small ass snowflakes? If that was the case, I would just go outside and wait for it to snow and then catch a couple snowflakes and freeze them and then put them on a little chain or something. Give them, here you go, here's your gift. At least that's free 99, Jen. Then we head over to Heather's house, and she's with her daughter, and of course they're talking about her daughter's sex life again for the 100th time. Heather is talking to her daughter, and she's like, I know you're going away to college, but I don't want to get emotional about it or anything, but like, are you gonna have, I know you're gonna have I don't want to say it. It starts with an S and ends with an X. And no, it's not with sex. I'm talking about sex. Yes. I know you're gonna have wild sex, a lot of kinky sex, a lot of dirty, nasty sex. I know that's what you're gonna do in college. But don't look at me. I'm getting emotional because I'm living vicariously through you, and I didn't have the opportunity to do all of that when I went to college. Look away, please. Look away. Look away while I'm talking to you. I just want you to be so careful with everything. I just, if you ever want to talk about pee-pees and wee-wees or anything, I'm always here for you. And, don't think that I'm here alone at my house, just being desperate, just waiting on your phone call, because I am. I have you on speed dial too, and I have all my notifications on for your phone number specifically and everything. But I just want you to know that I'm here for you, okay? Okay, you could look at me now. And I'm like, okay, Heather, we get it with this damn storyline. Like, I get it. You're being so concerning, but I don't know. It's just the whole conversation, it makes me cringe and makes me a little uncomfortable. I'm like, Heather, okay, we get it. And it's quite sad too, because of Heather's upbringing. This is why she doesn't really know how to communicate about this specific subject to her daughters, because to her, when she was, growing up, sex was a taboo subject, something that you really didn't talk about. So now it's kind of affecting Heather as an adult and as a mom, because she doesn't really know how to have these conversations with her daughters, because she never had somebody have those conversations with her. So in that way, I feel for her. But again, Heather, you're doing your best. You kind of are doing your best, but then when you try to be relatable and try to, talk about certain things, I'm like, what? Like, what does that have to do with sex? And, the examples that Heather uses, I'm like, okay. I guess if you squint your eyes enough, maybe you'll see a lesson or two in what she's saying. So then we get a date night between Lisa and her husband and Whitney and her husband. They go to this restaurant. They're all sitting down. They're ordering drinks. They're ordering food. And then these two people come up to the table. One is Aubrey, and then the guy's name is Marco, I believe. And both of them just so happen to be the people that canceled on Angie's event a couple episodes ago with the whole catering situation. And I'm like, interesting. And Aubrey and her eyeballs came ready. They were auditioning to be a friend of the show, at least for next season. She just had the snowflake in her eyes. She was like, I'm gonna get a snowflake. This is my chance. This is my chance. I'm gonna just go all full throttle in this scene, because she came up to the table and she was like, hello, hey Lisa, hello. Oh, this is your friend that I don't know about? Oh yeah, hello, nice to meet you. Hi Lisa, isn't it crazy that me and Marco was supposed to be at Angie's catering event, but I canceled because of undisclosed reasons? Isn't that wild? Isn't that crazy? I think we should have an argument. We should fight. Are we gonna throw drinks so I can be a friend of the show for next season? Maybe I'll be a full-time housewife. I have a husband too. What do you say? What do you think? Huh? What do you think? And I'm like, damn, calm down, Aubrey. She just came out so strong. She was reading off her script word by word. Who knows? Lisa probably gave her the script. She was probably like, yes, me and Marco was supposed to go to Angie's event and we canceled because we had to do other things and we couldn't make it. What else, Lisa, you wanted me to say? You wanted me to say this part? Okay, yeah, so me and Marco canceled because we didn't have enough gas money, but now maybe we'll make the next one, right? That's what you wanted me to read, right, Lisa? Okay. Whitney, the wheels in her head started spinning. Whitney's like, wait a minute. This is a fucking setup. Like, what's going on here? She's like, wait a minute. Lisa, did you manipulate me and try to be my friend and try to get on my good graces just so you could lure me into this restaurant? Just so Aubrey could prove a point to me that she was not, in any cahoots with you, with messing up Angie's event? And Lisa's like, no, I would never. What are you talking about, Whitney? No, what are you talking about, Whitney? No, stop. I could see how, it would look like Lisa's trying to set her up, or how she could go about the situation. But I don't know. I would want to believe that that wasn't her intentions with bringing her to this restaurant. I would just like to blame it on Aubrey just being thirsty for camera time or for a moment, But what do y'all think? Do y'all think that Lisa would do such a thing? I wouldn't put it past her. And then all of a sudden, Whitney starts doing a choreography. I thought she was about to die, but because she was like, oh yeah, I'm just doing this because I need to calm down or else I'm gonna yell at you. And if I was Lisa, I would have been like, then yell at me. Let's move this table out the way and then you could yell at me. What's the problem? Like, I'm not scared of you. But eventually they squashed it and, they blew over the whole situation with drinks. They're like, let's put the past in the past. Let's not talk about that. We are moving forward in our friendship. So then we head over to a tennis court with Meredith and Mary. And after their tennis game, Mary asks Meredith, so what's been going on with you? What's been going on in your life? And Meredith is like, I don't know. After the whole Brooks and Jen fiasco, their issue is kind of over now. So I'm trying to figure out what my purpose is on the show. I'm trying to figure out what's going to be my next storyline because I was holding on to that. But now I'm not sure what I'm going to do. What about you, Mary? And Mary starts discussing the same thing that she was discussing earlier when she was in the kitchen with her husband and the way he was treating her and how she really feels about him. I mean, she just does not want this man at all. She does not want him in the same room, in the same bedroom, nothing. And just like I said earlier, she is nervous that, that glue that keeps them together, which is her son, once he's out of the picture, what's going to happen then? She doesn't want to be with him alone. She doesn't want him at all. She wants somebody to make her feel alive. And it's so sad the way she was describing it because I thought she was about to start crying in her confessional when she was like, I want to feel alive. I want to feel that spark. And it's so unfortunate when you're with somebody and then you realize, you know what? The flame that we once had, it died and it's over. And it's just like, can we get that back? Or did we ever have that to begin with? Or were we all just blinded by this child, our son, that we were really in love with each other or that we were like living happily ever after? And it was all an illusion in the end. And it's pretty unfortunate. Again, Mary, you need to get yourself out of that situation. I don't know if you're staying with him for financial needs. If that's the case, I don't know. Again, you need to figure that out, go around that some way because I don't insist on you staying in a marriage that you're miserable in, especially when you could say all of this about your husband in front of all these cameras. I mean, you're like, oh, he's a disaster. He's a mess. He's nothing. I don't want nothing about him. I don't even want change. I don't want him at all. Like, he just disgusts me. Basically, that's what she was trying to say. And I'm like, damn, if you can say all of that about your husband, that's how you know you need to walk away from it before it gets even more hideous. Then it's going to escalate to a whole new issue. It's going to bring a whole new set of problems to your household with just you and him in it. So if I was you, again, I would have my backup plan quickly and try to look for the exit as soon as possible. So then we get Jenny and Dewey, and they're both skiing in the ski slopes. Eventually, they sit down to talk, and Dewey brings up the conversation again of having more children. And Jenny, once again, she lets us know that she has been through 10 miscarriages, and she's just not comfortable doing that physically or mentally. She just does not want to put herself through that. She just can't picture herself raising another child from the very beginning again, even if she doesn't give birth to it. And Dewey is just not understanding that. Dewey is just, he's like, okay, I hear what you're saying. I understand, but I want more children. And then again, she tries to tell him, no, I really don't want to do that. I can't do that. I'm just too emotional to go through all of that again. And what does he say? I want more children. And I'm like, Dewey, come on now. Like, he is literally trying to win the award for the biggest trash ass husband of the whole Housewives franchise, because I was shocked at what he was saying. I mean, she just kept trying to pour her heart out to him and he was just not hearing it out. And, for somebody who just wants to be all about children and family, he's making it all about himself instead of thinking about the family or thinking about her. Like, imagine if you do bring another child to the family. Imagine what it would do to your wife and all the emotional stress that she'll have to go through. And then it would change the whole dynamic in the family. For what? For your happiness, for your satisfaction. You're just trying to fill a void that's not there. You're trying to fill up that hole that you missed out on because your daughter passed away. And yes, it's unfortunate, but you can't go looking around for certain things to replace that. You have to heal on your own and not try to look for another baby to fill that void. Because let's say you do have another child. Let's say you do bring another child into the family. You try to fill up that hole inside your heart and then it doesn't work. You're like, oh, wait a minute. I still feel it. I want another child. So you'll always want something more until you fully heal in your own wounds. He starts crying too. And he's like, I just want to make this world a better place. I want more better people on this earth. And I'm like, start with the people at your house first. Start with your wife first before you care about what the world has and what people are walking on this earth. His priorities are just completely fucked up. And then he had the audacity to say, oh, what about if you get a sister wife? What if we get a sister wife into the whole situation? And Jenny looked like she wanted to slap him if the cameras weren't there. I mean, she was just in shock. I was in shock too. I'm like, dude, you're really stooping this low? I mean, again, just like I said, if this is for storyline, it's a pretty sad and pathetic way of going about it, because look how you're painting yourself out. Out of all the lies you could say to be on TV for a storyline, this is what you want to do? Again, it could be true and he could possibly really want this, but absolutely not. And he makes it known too that, oh, this is common in our culture, you know, to have many wives or to have sister wives and stuff. And she's like, yeah, it is, but I don't want to do that, not in my home. And whew, Jenny, you need to have a conversation with Mary about how both of you could divorce your husbands, because like this was terrible. This went from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City to the real trash ass husbands of Salt Lake City, because I was shocked. Like, I'm like, Dewey, I can't believe you. And if she would have picked up the ski equipment and slapped the shit out of you, I wouldn't have been upset about it. She walked away too. She stormed out because she was pissed. She's like, I can't believe you would say this right now. I'm upset because you just want to stick your, you know, your thing in anybody and go get somebody else pregnant. Go do that then. And then she walked away and he's calling after her, and that was that. But Dewey, I don't know how you're gonna recover from this, because this was just not a good look. This is very disgusting behavior from you. Again, Jenny, I think you need to get Mary's phone number, call her, and maybe both of you could, you know, find an escape from your marriages, because that's not cute. And that was the episode, y'all. What did y'all think about it? What did y'all think about Lisa and Whitney's friendship continuing from this point on? I mean, do y'all think that Lisa tried to set up Whitney at the restaurant and, you know, try to make it seem like, oh no, we just came here to eat and talk and everything? I don't know what Aubrey's talking about. Do y'all believe Lisa, or do y'all think that there was some intention there? And what do y'all think about this whole Jenny and Dewey situation? Because, you know, I'm still shocked. Like, I cannot believe it. Poor Jenny, poor woman. Like, you know, to have such a husband like that who's not even supportive or try to understand your feelings, like, men, trash. But regardless, y'all, let me know what y'all think about the whole episode in general in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Bye, y'all. Mwah.